The best version of the title is here, and in some ways, enjoy it while it's here. But in other ways, it's going to be more than fine. Still technically one of the best at what it does. But I want to show you some things you need to understand and be ready for. There needs to be a backup plan, a little exit strategy. But right now, it's impressive. I like it, I really do. And I'm pairing it with the Cascade Point tracks. A lot of fun gameplay in the background. But with the return, the title has some new perks, and in the background gameplay while on strand, there's two roles that you're going to be seeing. And you're going to know which role is being used by the text on the screen. Now, the first one is the one given to you. Even if you don't really plan on doing too much Destiny until the next season, this one is worth getting. It's very fast to get. Pick up the starting quest, do a couple things, it is yours. Perpetual Motion Rangefinder, Envious Repulsor. And this role alone has the necessities for what this SMG brings to the table, so go get it. The other role is Threat Detector Rangefinder. So 60 range, stability can get 250 at times 1 threat, 75 at times 2. With the handling scaler, handling help, reload help, it's really nice. But I want to talk about PvP. A lot of people are excited about this thing, as they should be. It comes with 15 zoom, and that puts it at the top of the chain range-wise with Rangefinder. That's one of the new perks. The role given gets to 45 range with Rangefinder, so 20.5 meters. Really good. My 60 range Threat Detector Rangefinder role gets to 22.2. And what we need to realize here, it's an aggressive frame, low inherent stability, like hello cold front, 7 base stability, this thing has 20 base. The zoom factor of 15 with Rangefinder is actually giving it more stability than what the stat says, because zoom compensates for stability. When you add in zoom, you get more stability, because you simply would not be able to use it. It would be unplayable otherwise. So the thing feels great. Feels like a laser beam even with 20, 25, 30 stability. So we got a very rangy SMG, high zoom for the class, Rangefinder, automatic winner for the Crucible. But you need to enjoy it now, because this thing is about to get absolutely gutted, a shell of what it was. 4 things are coming up, and I want to point out where this thing sits against other popular SMGs, and I think that some of it is going to be eye-opening. Like, a lot of people are saying that this thing is just one of the best ever. It is currently. It is really good, especially if you land a good roll. But I'm not sure it's as good as a lot of people think. I'm going to be using it now, but once these changes go live, I'm probably dropping it. I'm going to show you why. The 4 changes, first thing, next season, season 21, they're shifting the resilience threshold for aggressive frame SMG. So the goal is to force a 0.77 TTK against most players. So a longer TTK most of the time from season 21 and on. The second thing, they're looking at the base damage fall off ranges for all weapons, not just SMGs. All weapons meaning a possible redefine of range. Like most SMGs live into 15 to 24 meters, give or take. Well, they could just make it to where all SMGs live within 12 to 17 meters. As an example, if they actually go through with a redefining of range, the entire sandbox is going to change. Number 3. Zoom. Rangefinder's getting looked at. Because of 4, they're investigating decoupling damage fall off from zoom, meaning Rangefinder is going to be all but useless. They already nerfed the aim assist in the past, and they're going to make it to where it's not giving anything beyond what it should be doing. But right now, it's really good. If you were to get max range, it's 23.5 meters, 22.8 with Hammer Forged. But I want you to look at this. This is the eye opener, because once these changes go through, look what happens to this thing. And we're a month away from some of it. Rangefinder is going to be useless eventually, as far as getting more range by adding this zoom factor. So we're going to take that off. So 22.8 with Hammer Forged goes to 20.7. Then we have a rebalance of zoom on weapons and a little refresh of base damage fall off values. So 15 zoom, hitting at 20.7, could go to 17 or 18. Then we have a little nerf to where they're going to have a 0.77 TTK. So with what is a beast that has a possible 22.2, 22.5 meter fall off, is going to take longer to kill, probably less range than it's going to be with max range without Rangefinder, with that redefine, 15 zoom not being what it was. So even right now, if you take a max range title, that's the full bore Ricochet Range Masterwork Rangefinder roll, 70 range with Rangefinder, 23.36. It also depends on what you have. Let's take a look at Shire's Wrath, like this one that I have. It's 100 range, and the 100 range is 24.34 meters. Its TTK is 0.8, tier 5 and below 0.7. So when we start looking back at the title, once Rangefinder's gone, even right now, just getting into 19, 20 meters, Shira doesn't have Rangefinder, massively outranges it. And then it's going to get even worse for this weapon once the aggressive changes go live. And since Shira has 100 range, if they ever do decide to go through with the rebalancing of fall off, 100 range is the best you can get. So Rangefinder would not be the play. And then you look at the other perks, PvP wise. Thorpal Weapon, no. Surrounded, Niche, probably not. Gut Shot Straight, no. Focus Fury, no. There's 2. It is Swashbuckler, Repulsor Brace. So as you're grinding the titles out for PvP, I highly encourage you to look for good rolls with Swashbuckler and Repulsor Brace. Because Swashbuckler, it can pair with Pugilist. You get that melee final blow. It's going to give you 35 handling for 3 seconds. With Swashbuckler times 5 doing 33% more. As you get kills, it gives melee energy. That just works. If not, Perpetual Motion Swash. Threat Detector Swashbuckler. Because again, I'm telling you, once it loses its rangefinder utility, it is going to be a shell of what it was. So you need to look at other things. And since you're looking at other things, it's going to do okay. But at this point, I think other SMGs are just going to take the cake. Like Immortal, yes, in a different spot, but even with a range nerf or a zoom nerf or a TTK shift of 0.77, it has target lock, it has kill clip. Like it can make up for that. This one cannot. That's what I'm trying to say. So definitely look for other things. In the in-between, we have a couple things that have always worked. Threat Detector, Surrounded. Again, Pugilist, Swashbuckler. When it comes to Rangefinder, I am personally not too worried about it. I have Threat Detector range, it's going to do good. If you have that base roll with Perpetual Motion Rangefinder, like I would honestly, personally, again, just ride that out. Yeah, if you get something nice, use it for a little bit, but I do think that it's just going to get absolutely gutted as time moves on here. But it's really going to go to Repulsor Brace, which again is given to you. That's why that roll is so important. It's Envious Assassin or Perpetual Motion. I would do Perpetual Motion because you want to start loading in those rounds. At times 2, it's plus 20 reload speed. It's exactly what we want. The substitute would be Threat Detector. If you get Threat Detector Repulsor Brace, that's going to be good too because you get to plus 60 reload when you're 15 meters end in with a whole bunch of ads. I don't like Envious as an option. Shot Swap could work. I don't like Offhand Strike. The utility is going to go to Pugilist, Threat, Perpetual Motion with Repulsor Brace. Now, Repulsor Brace, the longevity of this weapon is going to fall to Repulsor Brace. SMG-wise, arguably, the title is the easiest we've ever seen. There's Unforgiven, Raid, there's Hero's Burden, Iron Banner. It's also on Fioratura, the sidearm. It's really nice on the sidearm. It's on some swords, on some scouts, on Ness's Ablation, the Raid Shotgun. But being an ag frame SMG, it's really, really good. With that Void kit, and I'm using Falcon, and all the gameplay, there's some PvE and the Crucible. Like PvE-wise, getting Devour, getting volatile rounds. When you're getting absolutely peppered, you're either gaining your health or getting an overshield in health. Like you're just constantly staying alive. And overall, the Void Kit is always going to be useful in PvE, no matter where you go. Whether you're doing a day 1 raid, starting out, to stay alive, to go invis, to debuff with tether, whatever. It's always going to be a pretty solid pick. As you're doing activities such as Guardian games or your everyday activities, it's just a really, really good pick. Same goes for the Crucible. I've had some amazing games with your Falcon Hunter running Repulsor Brace. Same deal. It's of course not as rangy as Rangefinder, but we're using something completely different. It's doing well within its range. I'm getting an overshield. I'm going invis with the Hunter kit. We got volatile rounds. We have all the good stuff. And then of course, I can switch to my Cascade Point Scout, put the heat on that way. And honestly, this is actually what I'm leaning to as something for Hunter or a Void sub, because some of our other options got shot straight. Focus Fury. Like, I do not like Focus Fury on SMGs. Rangefinder's gonna get absolutely gutted. Like, it comes down to Repulsor or Swashbuckler. To me, that's what I would really be looking for. PvP-wise, if you get a Dynamic Sway Rangefinder, use it, have a good time with it. It's gonna do well, but like, I have no faith in it. I really don't. I have more faith in Repulsor Brace or Swashbuckler as time goes on, because not to mention, it also has Classy Contender. I just talked about the Scout, but it's a given with these Guardian Games weapons. You know, final blows with this weapon grant class ability energy. So Repulsor Brace, getting all those kills, getting health, getting Overshield, the Devour Kit, volatile rounds, also getting class ability energy to dodge, get it all going again on your Falcon, or on Titan to get bash and shield back. I think that's the overall play for it. And when it comes to barrels, magazine, it's a random roll, and you're gonna be getting a lot of drops. So in a perfect world, you're gonna have a couple options. Like so far for me, Perpetual Motion Repulsor Brace is doing fantastic. I tried things like Offhand Strike, and that can push it past like into that 24-25 meter range in hip fire. It's okay, it's fun. But really, Perpetual Motion makes the most sense, or Threat Detector. And Threat Detector is the better reload. Perpetual Motion is the most consistent reload, if that makes sense. You also get stability. But overall, it is a good weapon. It really is. But I do stand by one half, like enjoy it while it lasts, because the Rangefinder is really, really good. It's top shelf. It is up there with the best in the game as far as range and dueling. But once these changes happen, I'm telling you, other SMGs and things like the Immortal are going to stand the test of time a little bit better. Now, the other side of the weapon is going to be completely fine. It's doing good now. It's going to do good in the future. That is Repulsor Brace. The other subcategory is Defined Swashbuckler. But this is the best version of the title that we've seen. It's doing things it couldn't do before, and that's always a good thing. But definitely keep your eye on some other options that it has. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about the title down below. What are your thoughts on it? How are you liking it? And with some of the changes coming to aggressive SMGs, how do you think that this thing's gonna fall? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I'm CoolGuy.